An unexpected comment during practice from one of the most promising young players on the roster raised eyebrows among Steelers fans and reignited a debate many thought was already settled. Meanwhile, a familiar face from the new offensive coordinator's past might be closer to Pittsburgh than anyone realizes. These two developments could seriously impact the offensive identity in 2025. Buckle up, the latest from Steel City is making waves. Drop a like so you don't miss a thing. Roman Wilson just poured fuel on the fire about who should lead the Steelers offense when he dropped a line that made fans jump out of their seats. He's an elite quarterback. And yes, he was talking about Mason Rudolph. Here's the thing, while the NFL world is still waiting to see if Aaron Rodgers actually ends up in Pittsburgh, the reality is that for now, the Steelers' plan A seems to be sticking with Rudolph behind center. He's there, steady, with Will Howard and Skylar Thompson simply rounding out the depth chart. And even though the Rodgers rumors are still floating around, the locker room doesn't seem too worried, especially after Wilson's public praise. Wilson, entering just his second year in the league, didn't hold back. He talked about Rudolph's accuracy, timing, and how confident he feels catching passes from him. Basically, Roman's saying, relax, we're in good hands. Now, let's not forget, Rudolph's been around for a while. Drafted back in 2018, he was once seen as a potential QB of the future. While he's never officially earned that title, he's shown flashes, especially during that magical end to the 2023 season, when he came off the bench and led the Steelers to 3 straight wins and a playoff berth. That run reignited hope. Fans started looking at him differently, like, hold on, maybe this guy deserves a real shot. In Pittsburgh, the mood is a mix of anxiety and optimism. Rodgers is still a possibility, but if that doesn't happen, this might be Mason's year. And with Mike Tomlin's streak of winning seasons on the line, the pressure on the QB spot gets even heavier. Some analysts are predicting that 2025 could be Tomlin's first losing year. But hey, remember what Rudolph did in 2023? Maybe he's got another surprise up his sleeve. At the end of the day, between uncertainty, rumors, and bold statements, things are heating up in Pittsburgh. And if Roman Wilson is right, the rest of the NFL better get ready. Is Roman Wilson seeing something in Rudolph that the rest of the NFL has missed? And if you thought that was surprising, just wait until you hear who the Steelers might be targeting next. The quarterback saga in Pittsburgh is still unfolding, but behind the scenes, a new name could be entering the mix: Jonnu Smith. The tight end who shined in Miami in 2024 is reportedly on the Steelers' radar at least. That's what some rumors suggest. But the big question is, will the team actually add another piece to the offense? Or will they roll with the guys already on the roster? Talks started heating up after Jonnu skipped the Dolphins' OTAs. According to sources like Adam Schefter, he's trying to renegotiate that 2-year, $4.8 million contract. His connection to Arthur Smith, the Steelers' new offensive coordinator, is strong. They've worked together in both Tennessee and Atlanta, so the speculation makes sense. Smith knows how to use Jonnu, and if there's one thing Smith loves, it's a versatile tight end in his heavy run and play-action schemes. But here's the reality. Pittsburgh's already stacked at tight end. Pat Freiermuth is TE1, Darnell Washington is developing, Connor Hayward is a Swiss Army knife, Donald Parham just arrived, and there's still young JJ Galbraith. The team carried 4 tight ends last season. Do they really need another? Plus, there are bigger holes elsewhere. After trading George Pickens, the wide receiver core is a question mark. DK Metcalf is the big name, but behind him it's a mix of Calvin Austin, Robert Woods, Scotty Miller, and a bunch of guys trying to prove themselves. Maybe that's why Arthur Smith is leaning toward a tight end heavy offense. He's used that formula before, and with Jonnu, the transition would be smooth. Still, insiders like Ray Fittipaldo poured some cold water on the idea. According to him, there's nothing brewing between the Steelers and Dolphins right now. It might just be Jonnu's agent stirring up the market, trying to squeeze more money out of Miami. But if Pittsburgh wants to spark life into an offense that was a mess in 2024, Jonnu Smith has a case. The guy led the Dolphins in receiving yards, 884, had 88 catches and 8 TDs. Impressive numbers. He'd be a major upgrade over Parham, Hayward, and company. So bottom line, if Jonnu comes at a fair price and fits the scheme, the Steelers might just pull the trigger. If not, they'll stick with what they have. Don't expect fireworks, but never count out a last-minute move in Steel City. Rudolph might not be elite, but he deserves a real shot. As for Jonnu Smith, he only makes sense if he's cheap and fits fast. The offense is still a puzzle. If you like this kind of analysis, subscribe to the channel.